Hello everybody, we're going to be covering the new S rank modifier Hell that's coming out on August the 1st, 2023. Hell is a DPS shadow unit who is ranged. She uses the Divine Grace resource and she's from the Yggdrasil Gen Zone. Is she worth pulling for? Should you spend your resources for her? Well, we're going to be going over her skills here, and then we'll cover a few other questions I got asked at the end, and then ultimately it'll be for you to decide. A lot of the skills that I'm reading off, their values haven't been released yet. However, these are translations from CN, so the wording could be a little bit different from what was released on their official Twitter page, as well as the values could change when we see them on global. First and foremost, we're going to be getting another modifier with Hell's release called Sigil, who's going to be an A rank modifier. She is going to be the one that will ult chain with Hell. However, when you're looking at creating a meta team for Hell, she is not going to be the one that you want to go. Simply put, she does not put out enough damage compared to the meta team that you would want to run with Hell, if that is what you're going for, is more damage. The key form that you're going to want to run with Hell is called Elf Muriel. It gives you 20% attack with an additional plus 100 attack for its stat, and it is also from the Yggdrasil Gen Zone. The effect you get when equipping it on Hell Darkstar will decrease the Divine Grace consumption of cannon shots while you're in cannon tower form by 5, and it will increase the base damage of your cannon shots by 32%, which will increase an additional 8% per Transcendence. The meow that you want to run on Hell's team is Meninja. It will increase your crit and ult charge at the Omega grade. You also want to run the Battlefield Dominance chip that increases attack based on the amount of enemies. The second DPS chip you want to run is really any DPS chip you feel fits best. Personally, I am running Sudden Offense, which increases your attack / defense when an ally ults. However, feel free to run whatever DPS chip you feel fits here better for your team and your play style. Keep in mind that we should be getting more DPS chips when S rank Hera drops, and there will be better chips to fit into the secondary slot here. For her sigils, she's going to be running the new sigil called El Judiner. In battle, you will gain 1 stack of shadow for 8 seconds. Each time you cast a skill or ultimate skill, it will stack up to 5 times. Shadow's duration is increased by 1.5 seconds each time a new stack is added up until the 5th stack, meaning that you can increase the original duration, which is 8 seconds, by an additional 6 seconds. Each stack of shadow obtained, more shadow damage is gained. If you're hit by an enemy, Shadow's effect will increase by 100% for each stack for 8 seconds. This duration of this bonus refreshes each time a new stack is added and disappears once Shadow runs out. You want to run a set of sigils on your 1st, 3rd, and 5th slot. So if it's a DPS unit of any kind, run their elemental sigils on the odd number slots. This could change in the future depending on the modifier, and there are certain other cases where this might not be true, but as a general rule of thumb for the majority of modifiers, this is true, so it's a good way to go if you're ever in doubt. The second sigil you want to run for her, which is currently out in the game, is called Philosopher's Fantasies. You want to place these in the remaining slots, which will be 2, 4, and 6. The effect of these is you gain 1 Divine Grace per second, and you increase the skill damage of Divine Grace modifiers by 10%. Hell's skills are as follows. Her basic attacks will change depending on what form she's in, as each skill will change her form. Her first skill is called Nightmare Harvest. She unfolds her magic gun and shoots continuously at the locked target. When she hits an enemy, she will gain Divine Grace. Her second skill is called Spectre Blast. Her gun will turn into a cannon, or magic cannon, form and shoots a shot in the direction of the locked on target, dealing shadow damage. She will also gain 15 points of Divine Grace after hitting the target. Skill 3 is called Execution. She transforms into a cannon tower form which can continue to aim in the targeted direction. Every time you shoot, you consume 20 Divine Grace. In this cannon tower form, the damage you receive is reduced by 20%, and you are immune to control effects, but you can't move or cast other skills, and you can only rotate horizontally to aim. Every 1% of damage received will consume 1 Divine Grace, and you can recast the skill to end it early. Ultimate is called Judgment from Above. She summons multiple cannons to shoot the target, and damage is increased by 30% for her and ally for 10 seconds. When 0 time is triggered, you will also gain energy. Hel has 2 imprints that you can run with her. She has a single target DPS imprint and a multi-target DPS imprint. For single target, you primarily want to run this, for example, if you're clearing Reoccurring Dream, since it's only the boss. For single target, you're going to be running red, yellow, yellow. What the 2 yellows are going to do is when you are in the cannon tower form, you will take 20% reduced damage, in addition to the already 20% reduced damage you are currently taking. Your basic attacks will no longer recover Divine Grace. Instead, you'll automatically restore 3 Divine Grace per second. Then what the red is going to do is it will increase the base damage of 2 skills by 80%. Mind you, this is a translation from CN, so I don't have any more information than this to give you. More information to come on this when she's released on Global. Her multi-target DPS imprint will have the same 2 yellows as before. For the blue, you will do 70% increased damage to normal enemies. And this is where you're going to get that increased damage on mobs. So really good, for example, if you're doing your dailies, or even clearing hazard zone cleaning, as most of the enemies are groups of mobs. Hel's meta team, she's going to be running Hoder and Oku as her teammates. Their job is to basically make it to where Hel will do the most damage possible. For Hoder, you should have gotten her for free in the beginning events. If you don't have her, she's pretty easy to get, with just saving up the tokens from Reoccurring Dream. And for Oku, she is an S rank suit. You can also save up the tokens from Reoccurring Dream to be able to unlock her eventually. She was also on the up banner during Scotty's run for the general banner. For Hoder, the sigils that you're looking to run will be Dark Plague on 1, 3, and 5. And then you want Griffin's Pride on 2, 4, and 6. For Hoder's codes, you want all yellow codes. It will increase the travel distance of her dim light balls. Use double scatter shot to inflict dark tainted on enemies for 10 seconds, and they will take 10% more damage. The dim light balls in her instant shadow will drag enemies within range, with the drag power increasing as the number of enemies in range with dark tainted goes up. So essentially, allowing for Hel to do more damage to these enemies. Oku's sigils are as follows. You want Spartan Battle Cry, and you want this one that I cannot pronounce, so I'm just putting it on the screen. And for Spartan Battle Cry, you can farm it, but the other one you're going to have to exchange for in the store from the mats you get from your hazard zone clearing. For Oku's imprint, 3 reds, which will extend her divination effect, increase her crit rate while in any divination state, as well as apply the divination effect to the entire team, but it will be reduced by 50% for teammates. So again, further increasing the damage that Hel will be able to do. And the chip you want to select for her is called Early Sakura Accelerate, which will basically make it to where she never draws the Lover's card from the card pool and instead will draw the Death and the Chariot card. I would say overall she's a good unit. If you are looking for a team and don't want to pull Hera, or don't necessarily want Hera, or you just find Hel enjoyable, I would say definitely go for her. I'm personally pulling for her because I absolutely adore her and I think she is so much fun to play. But it's up to you, whatever makes you the happiest and whatever you think you're going to have the most fun with. Keep in mind they usually allow us to test these units, so make sure you thoroughly test them and see if you would actually enjoy her before picking her up. For anybody interested, her team will not do more damage than Hades' team. Hades, Onirius, and Hera are one of the top DPSing teams from the 1.0 to 1.7 patch, followed closely by Osiris S rank, Thor S rank, and Hera S rank as the other highest DPSing team. However, that does not mean that you cannot run anything but those teams. There are a bunch of other teams on my meta guide for 1.0 to 1.7 that will still have the content cleared for you and could be more fun for you, just depending on your playstyle and what you like. So just make sure you're having fun no matter what you choose. But if you are looking for DPS or the highest DPSing teams, this will not be one of them, so just keep that in mind. I wish you luck, and I'll see you guys next time. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody!